Hi, this is Joe Rabil with Invest Like a Pro. I'm going to talk about ADX and MACD in multiple time frames today, and I want to go a little bit more in depth, give a little bit more a better understanding of why I use it. And the fact of the matter is, and if you look at the book, my book Invest Like a Pro, I talk about 3 or 4 different setup patterns that develop in MACD, and probably about 2 or 3 things that I look for in ADX that I think are pretty high criteria, important criteria. So if those patterns, what I figured out about 20 years ago is that, typically if I'm looking at multiple time frames or looking at 2 consecutive time frames, it's very rare that I'm going to get 2 time frames showing the exact same pattern. What ends up happening is you get one time frame giving you one signal and another time frame giving you a different signal. So I want to go straight into BABA. BABA is the example I'm going to use today, and for the most part I am going to focus on the 4 time frames. And what I wanted to explain is how I use the one time frame is your setup time frame, or whether you're showing strength based on the ADX and on the buy side strength. And then the second criteria, or the lower time frame, is helping me determine just what kind of a pullback I'm getting and what type of strength the sellers have. So the first thing I want to do, just as a follow-up to the last video, the fact of the matter is, on a monthly chart, the price of Alibaba is pretty far away from the 18-month line right now. So, I mean, if I'm looking for opportunities to be a long-term investor, if I'm a longer-term investor, I'm looking at a monthly chart, then I'm going to be looking for these periods where I'm at or near the 18 month moving average, or in between the 18 and the 40. And maybe even where this started way back in 2017. So those are kind of my areas if I'm a longer term investor. So I'm not necessarily looking at this as a long-term investment right now. I think there's too much risk. There's too much pullback risk, and I hope that makes sense, especially after the last video. But one thing I will do on the longer-term time frame is I want to see how the momentum characteristics look. And I see MACD is hitting new highs, confirming price, and I also see that the ADX is turning higher. It isn't above 25, but it is moving higher. And green DI made a new high with price on this last move. So it is confirming that from that standpoint. So I would say that the monthly chart has a good bias to the upside, but it's probably not very timely if I'm looking to put money away from a longer period for a longer period of time. So if I want to play this, I got to go down to a lower time frame. So if we go to the weekly chart, now all of a sudden it's starting to look a little bit more attractive to me. For the first thing is that if we look at the ADX is in a really strong trend right now. The one negative I would say is that it has gotten above 50. We're up at like 57, and that's usually an area where there's a higher risk of a pullback. So it's almost like it's getting a little overheated. It's a very, very strong trend, but again, it's probably a little bit extended from that standpoint. So based on what I'm seeing in the ADX on both the and the MACD and the price action on both the monthly and the weekly, I'm willing to trade this, but I have to do it on lower time frames if I'm going to do it, because I can't put money away from a longer term standpoint, because again, I've got too much pullback risk in place right now. So I hope that makes sense. So now let's go into why on a MACD basis this is starting to look interesting. So we've had this is the second pullback, and as I've mentioned, when I'm looking at pinch plays on any time frame, I'm willing to play the first 2 bull flags or pinches that develop. And this is essentially the second bull flag that's developed. This was the first, and this is the second one. And MACD is still holding the signal line. This was a very mild pinch the first time. This is getting a little bit more accentuated this time. But I would tell you that both of them have somewhat of an attractive pattern from that standpoint. And there's no sign of divergence on a DI basis so far. So again, my bias is to the upside, and I'm getting somewhat of a pattern that looks pretty interesting. Let's look at the daily chart, and I am going to zero in a little bit. So one of the things that I look at is if one time frame is giving me like a pinch play, the lower time frame is not going to be a pinch play. I mean, it could be, but you'd have to wait for it to develop completely. And I in my book, I go into depth about the 2 time frame pinch play. So I'm not saying you can't do it that way. I'm just saying you don't have to wait for a second pinch to develop. What you can do is say, okay, I've got a correction developing and it looks like a zero line reversal is starting to develop. We're getting both these lines getting closer and closer to the zero line on a MACD basis. Whereas on a weekly chart, I'm showing somewhat of a pinch. The daily chart is actually showing a zero line. And then if we look at the ADX, again, on the weekly chart, we have really strong ADX. And then on the lower time frame, the daily, we have weak ADX. So how does that work? The fact of the matter is that you have to look at, so green DI, there's green for the buyers and red for the sellers. And you have to look at each peak in the blue line, which is the ADX line, and determine what is causing that peak. Is it being caused by the buyers or is it being caused by the sellers? And so if you look at this last this move in ADX, which is a very strong move to the upside, it was being caused by the buyers because green is on top and above 25. Now, if we look at during this sell-off period, when the market was going down, look at how ADX or the red DI couldn't even get above 25. So if I look at this decline, so this move from here to here, I'm saying that's selling because the stock is going down. And during this period, the ADX was very weak. So if I look at a weekly chart, I can see that the ADX on the upside was very strong based on the green DI. And then when I go to a daily, I can see the pullback based on the selling is very weak. And that's why we have a low ADX on this time frame. Hope this makes sense. But what we're looking for is strong ADX on the higher time frame and low ADX on the pullback. And if we get that, then we can start to be a little bit more constructive. And the way I look at it is the bias is still to the upside. You should be expecting the market to move higher after this consolidation ends. Now, we still have a declining 18 on this time frame, and it's possible this consolidation will go a little bit longer. We don't really have a zero line touch yet, but we're in the area where, based on what's taking place in both the MACD and the ADX, we should be on the alert. And what we can do is we can go down to a lower time frame. By the way, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications to make sure you are alerted for new videos as I go more and more in depth into ADX and MACD. If I go to an hourly chart, I can see that I've got a break of the downtrend line developing on this time frame. And I can also see that green DI is crossing over and making a new high relative to all these red peaks going back. And ADX has been low for a period of weeks. I can also see that the MACD line is doing a crossover pattern right here. So I've got, on a weekly chart, I've got a pinch play. On a daily chart, I've got a potential zero line reversal developing. And then on the hourly, I've got a crossover developing. So obviously, those are 3 different patterns on 3 different time frames, but it's given me the sense, based on what's taken place, that there's signs of improvement developing. So the weekly chart is telling me that there's some pretty good momentum still in place, and we've got a pretty strong trend in place. And then if we go to the daily chart, I know that the pullback was pretty orderly. It wasn't really violent to the downside because we didn't get a strong selling reading. And then I can go down to this hourly chart. And the main point I wanted to make here is that if I look for the typical pattern that I would try and find is, a higher low to develop, and it might not be that low of a pullback. Maybe it'll be a little bit higher than that. In green DI, we want to pull back and hold at 25. But you have to be really careful. And in fact, I want to show you this. I'm going to change this pullback because I want you to be able to understand this. So if this is a shallow pullback like this, and it plays out that way, I would be very reluctant to put a stop in under here. And I want to make sure you know why. Even though that's a 1, 2, 3 change in trend, and I recommend typically to go underneath that last bottom, what I would suggest is because the daily is not in position yet. Remember, the daily chart still has a declining 18 MA, and the 18 has not come down below the 40 yet. But we have the potential for a zero line reversal. So I'm willing to go in and play this on the hourly. If I get really good confirming evidence on an hourly basis that things are shifting, I'm willing to use that to my advantage to get in a little bit earlier instead of waiting for the development of the daily, which you might end up getting in much, much later waiting for the daily. What I want to do is I want to get in here, but I'm probably going to use a different stop in this point, in this situation. I'm going to use a stop way down here. I'm going to use the daily stop because if, again, the daily stop would be using the whole pullback low as opposed to just the last higher low on an hourly basis. If I have a daily chart that's in position, right, the 18 on the daily is already turning and it looks like it's already in position to go higher, then I'm fully committed to going ahead and using the higher low on the hourly. But there are a lot of situations where the daily chart in this situation is not going to be ready. And it's telling you something else. It's not telling you, it's not a buy signal or a trigger signal. It's telling you that the pullback was mild and that the bias is still to the upside. So anyway, this is how I would go about using these 3 different time frames together and how I would look at these different signals based on ADX and MACD. Place any questions or comments you might have and hit that like button. Thank you.